Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video we're going to talk about making gold with the Garrison while I was busy filming a much longer video around basically all the benefits of the Garrison, how to do it, and just a full breakdown. I wanted to take a look essentially at if you could make money. So basically, let's start off with the simplest question. The mission board, does it still make money? Not in a direct sense. The mission board does give players resources. It can give you items, literal equip items that you can turn into gold by selling. It also gives you from time to time primal spirits, resources that you can use to convert into money, either by exchanging them for crafting materials or just directly selling them. And from time to time it will just give you random treasures. Now, it's been nerfed heavily since its origination, but it is very passive, and if you're visiting your garrison often, doing it is not a problem. It's just going to help you and all the other tasks you need to do. So it doesn't make money, not hugely. I think if you sent out and did all of the item missions in a day, got all of the mythic and Highmore items, upgraded your garrison characters, got them to high levels, got them to high item levels, I think you could maybe make like 100 gold from it a day, but it's really how it caters and services other functions that helps. Same with the dock. There's not really a direct purpose for the dock, albeit what it does sell and do can potentially help you overall, so it is something to potentially look at. But we're looking at them at strictly direct money making. Neither of these functions are remotely close to being serviceable direct functions. So what is a serviceable direct way of making money? Well, pretty simply put, farming resources. Farming your herbalism resources, trading in your seeds, going to your mine, picking up your mining materials, trading in your stone for new mining materials, even though it is the most basic of basic from the Warlords of Draenor expansion, is actually still a decent way of making money. Whether you sell them on the auction house, convert them into materials to craft other items, which we'll talk about a bit later, or just in general use it to sell directly as junk, you'll make money off of it. Not to mention it'll give you resources that you can use elsewhere, whether it's for mounts or pets or other useful things, and just in general it's a great way to level up your skills from that expansion so that you can have a better time doing professions there. These two functions are probably the quickest and easiest way to make money. For example, selling a batch of the day's resources on the auction house can actually net you pretty much over 100 gold. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but the fact that you can do it every single day means that basically you can make some pretty quick, easy bucks off of it. Of course, that is assuming people are still even buying it on your server. But there's always some kind of automated farming bot that's going to pick up your order if you low cost sell it. So, hopefully you can get a buyer. And even if you can't, you can sell it directly for money, which I think is ultimately the goal here. So, obviously farming resources is great, but now what of the buildings can actually contribute to making money? Well, the first is the trading post. Now, the trading post serves quite a few functions. The first is it's a direct conversion of garrison supplies into gold. It is also, as well, on top of that, a way to get direct auction house access, which I think is really, really helpful, especially if you're looking to sell your resources on the daily directly. The trading post is pretty simple. You'll have a trader, and he will let you every single day trade certain resources directly for garrison supplies. This essentially means that you can convert your garrison supplies directly into gold, because the thing is you get a certain number of garrison supplies every single day passively, just by waiting. And you can take those supplies, turn them into crafting items, and whether you put them on the auction house or sell them directly, whatever the manner is, you can very easily make a fair chunk of gold this way, which I think personally is probably one of the simplest, easiest ways to do it. And since the only requirement is a level 1 trading post, you don't even have to upgrade it and invest a lot of money outside of the initial 100 gold. Next we have the inscription building. This one is a little bit more of a process and a little bit more RNG. So the inscription building has a couple problems. Firstly, the inscription building's main way of generating revenue is through cards of omen. Cards of omen are a super simple item that you can make, which you can either sell on the auction house or literally directly turn into gold. There is a problem with this. Firstly, you need to generate the resources. This requires you to convert your passive herbs that you'll probably pick up from the other methods. This is okay because you're passively picking them up. You're also picking them up from missions. You'll be picking them up from salvage. You could trade them for garrison resources. So getting the herbs is not the issue, and the light parchment paper that you use is incredibly cheap and a standard resource. The cards of omen, the biggest issue is that firstly, you need investment. You need to upgrade the inscription hall to level 3 to max out your work orders, to max out your return on each work order, to get bonus materials to really make it super cost effective. Secondly, as well, because it's consuming resources that you can easily farm and easily turn into gold, it is convoluting a relatively simple process into one that, generally speaking, still has quite a bit of RNG to it. Anyway, once you have major cerulean fragments or pigments, you can turn them into the war paints by simply speaking and filling out your work orders. Now these will also take time, but if you've maxed out your inscription hall, then you will have a pretty decent return rate on these. Once you do have the war paints, you can simply speak to the inscriptor in the building and he will be able to create cards of omen. Now, cards of omen have two direct ways of generating money. Well, one indirect and one direct. The indirect way is basically taking the cards and selling them directly on the auction house. You can potentially make, if they sell on your server, which I doubt they will, you can potentially make around 3 gold a card, which in theory means 30 gold per stack, which you would think is great money, but like I said, the chances of that selling is very low. Alternatively, you can flip the cards. Now, flipping a single pack of cards may not net you much. You'll see me sell them and I'll make 3 gold. But here's the thing. If you start to flip thousands of cards, you have a chance to potentially proc a very high value one. This essentially can make your card return end up being around 3 gold per card, which ultimately means that, in theory, you can make up to 30 gold per batch of omen cards, and since you can make a whole bunch of war paints per day, you are basically able to make some decent money, albeit with a bit of RNG and a lot of effort involved. The last but not least is the salvage yard. Now the salvage yard, again, isn't something that directly makes money, but it does create resources and it creates a way to get better return on some of the other functions. So firstly, to unlock the salvage yard, we have to go and begin the quest line in Pinch Whistle Inspires of Iraq. All the quests are on the side. You will get the first quest from your garrison and it'll take you directly there. Once you're there, complete the quests, and the final quest will give you the level 1 salvage yard. You can take the level 1 salvage yard, learn it, and then you are able to build the building. So essentially, once you build the building, all it will do is allow you to generate passive resources and get refunds on garrison supplies. Because basically, when you do missions, you'll have a chance to obtain salvage. With that salvage, you can take it down to the salvage yard, and you can exchange it for packs of salvage goods. Salvage goods will contain a mixture, or one of each, of random resources, random junk items you can sell, and also will give you garrison resources. Ultimately, the salvage yard is more of a passive refunding kind of station. It's a way to minimize the amount of garrison supplies you'll run through each day, whilst also simultaneously giving you more resources, which you can either sell or convert into cards of omen, or also will give you random junk items to sell. It's pretty neat, and since it kind of works in sync with all the other things you'll be doing passively, it makes sense to do it because it will enable your other revenue generating streams. So how much gold can you expect to make per day? Honestly, with Card of Omen flipping, it is completely randomized. You will have some days where you benefit hugely, other days where you don't. But in reality, you can probably look, depending on if things sell on your auction house, you can probably look with card flipping, with everything, at maybe making a couple hundred gold per day. A day can range anywhere from 200 to 500 gold, if you're incredibly lucky. And the thing with that is, it takes quite a bit of time. Like, just setting all this up takes gold, setting everything up takes a lot of time. Salvage yard quest took about an hour. Like, all of this takes time, and even just doing the garrison passively will probably still take you half an hour. Is it the best way to make gold? No. But if you're someone who just wants something to passively do while they're watching an anime, you want to set up a little bit of an extra revenue stream, it's not too bad. Not the worst way to make gold. That's it from me. Bye.